My name is Anton Kovalyov. I'm front-end engineer at Discuss. I also happen to be a JSConf maintainer. JSConf is a fork of JSLint, the syntax checker tool. And I gave this similar presentation a few weeks ago at jQuery conference, but that presentation was more about the use of JSConf, how to use it, how to integrate it into your environment. But for JSConf, I decided to do something else because I feel like you people are kind of people that actually shape the JavaScript community. So this will be more like a shout out to you for help on this and other projects. So why am I doing this? First, I'm really passionate about language tools and code quality tools. So basically every tool that helps us to write better code, to write faster code. I'm really passionate about that. And I also really hate all this fear crap about JavaScript, that all the newcomers think that JavaScript is a very dangerous language and we should use some subset of this language. And this subset is usually crippled. So then they are just afraid to learn the language. They're afraid to understand the language. They think that prototype is bad because somebody said so, and they never understand the prototype inheritance. Sorry. So initially, I forked JSLint just because I needed for it to be usable at Discuss for our own projects. But the feedback was so surprisingly amazing. I mean, it really hit the nerve. People apparently don't like Crockford as much as I do. So that's why I decided to expand the project. And this talk will be basically about this expansion. So why language tools are important? First, and one of the most important thing is that they save us time. They save us time by spotting the obvious bugs before we actually put them in runtime. For example, last week we merged a big branch back at Discuss, and our build failed because the JSConf found a leaking global variable error. It was not too horrible. It would probably work on all sides except for one side, and this one side would say, hey, I use the same variable I, and then you're fucking me up. So that was spotted. It saved us, I don't know, like hours of debugging, and it's nice. And the second one is helping syntax checkers and code quality tools that help us to enforce our style rules. If you maintain or if you contribute to any open source project, you know that when somebody sends you a really good patch, they just happen to have a different style, programming style, and you're thinking like, yeah, I should either tell them, hey, please change your style because your patch is good, but I'm not going to commit it without those changes, and you feel like an asshole. Or you're changing that for them before you actually like commit the code, before you actually merge their pull request, and you still feel like an asshole because it's not their commit anymore. So with the, I will show you an example from Python world. With the syntax checkers that actually enforce some kind of style, it's very easy to say, if you want this patch to be accepted, just run it through this tool, and if it's all good, it's all good. So this is for like experienced developers. For the newcomers, code quality tools, they really can help to guide through the language tricks and obstacles. Basically, when you write, I still remember when I wrote my first JavaScript applications, like it was really bad, it's still pretty bad. And so when you write that, it's kind of nice to have a tool that will tell all the like obvious mistakes you made, all the styling issues you have, and when you grow, when you learn the language, and you know like how to use automatic semicolon insertion, then you just turn on the option and you use it. That's fine. So they also can guide the newcomers by providing links to the useful documentation. And thankfully, we have quite a few syntax checkers and linters and all this stuff, but some of them, one of them, is really mean to the users. So I felt like we should have some kind of, not laws, laws is just a reference to Isaac Asimov, but like rules that all projects, that all linting projects should comply to. And the first rule is a program may not insult a human being. See, this is very sad that I had to put it as the first rule, and you all know what I'm referring to, because the most popular project on the web and in JavaScript community is like a giant asshole to developer community. So, yeah, it never helps for the project, for the community, and for your contributors when you tell them you're stupid after every patch request, pull request. So another thing is that JavaScript is a really flexible language. You can write in different styles, and those styles, it's not like Python or, let's say, Go, where you can write in different styles, but they're all pretty much the same. In JavaScript, you can do basically whatever you want. And that's why a good linting tool will conform to your own style or to the style of your project. If jQuery people want to put the white space in between the parentheses, that's their option. Yeah. And the third law is, again, the reference to this other project. So the program must accept patches, because no matter how smart you are, people are smarter than you. And I learned so much by just running the JSConf project. All those issues and tickets that people file, they explain with like references to the ECMAScript specification why it is good and why they use that. And sometimes I was like, whoa, I never thought I can use that. And yeah, so it's very helpful for everybody when you're good with your community. So yeah, let's see other languages. Let me check time. One time. I have two examples from Python and Go, because I really love both languages. And so in Python, Python has their linters. They're very popular, PyLint and PyFlakes. They check the probe. They're just like JSLint, except that PyLint actually runs the code, so it can detect if your imports are like incorrect or if you have messed up path. And pip8py checks the program against the official Python style guide. They have the style guide that if you want to contribute to Python standard library or to Python core, if they have something in Python there. So you have to run your code through the pip8.py, which works for them. That will not work for JavaScript because of different styles. But we can do something like that, but better and flexible. So it's good for the discusses the Python shop. So, and we use those tools, the PyFlakes, as part of our build project. And I know a lot of other big Python shops that actually use it as a part of build projects. And in JavaScript people, well, they don't use that. They don't use neither JSLint or JSConf or JavaScript lint. I know why, but I don't have time to joke around Crawford anymore. So, Go. Go has this awesome. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, oh, that's better. So Go has this amazing Go format utility that ships with the actual compiler, and it's not only checks your code, it actually fixes your code. It prettifies it according to their rules. Again, the Go is more like Python, so it's very hard to have some unique style. It's pretty much the same, so that's why it ships with the compiler, and I'm pretty sure all 3 Go projects in the world use that. So now back to JavaScript. Everything is not too horrible in JavaScript. We have those linters, JSLint, JavaScript lint, Closure compiler. Closure compiler linter is really good. And we have nice documentation now. We have this Better.js project that is actually moved good articles to the first page of Google search. Either that or I have really good Google personalization, because all those good and nice like MGC and ECMAScript specs are now on my first page near the top. So we have that, but it all can be better. First of all, as I said about keep aid, we need our tools to enforce style guides. After my JQueryConf talk, I got approached by jQuery team that said that, hey, we'd like to use JSHint, but we need a way to enforce our style guide for the pull requests we're having, because they spend too much time dealing with, like, hey, put this white space here, white space there. So we need this. We need something that is flexible enough to support custom style guides, because I'm pretty sure we have, like, what, 50 people here, and we have like 48 different styles of writing JavaScript. And we can, people try to enforce one style and make everybody to rewrite all their code, but as you can see, that totally failed. So next, syntax checkers, yeah, they must have plugin architecture. Plugin architecture is important for every good project that wants to be expanded by the community. Let's say you're writing some YUI widget, or yeah, and you don't only want to check that your JavaScript is correct and valid and doesn't have obvious mistakes. Let's say you want to check the namespace, that the namespace is according to your rules. We will never incorporate that in JSHint because, well, it's your project, it's your problem. But if with the plugin architecture, you can actually do it yourself, and it will work hopefully just fine. Also, we have all those nice languages like spin-offs like CoffeeScript and the future version of JavaScript Harmony. And at some point, we will need to support them because, well, people use them, and especially like CoffeeScript, people apparently like the language. So why not? And here we come to the JSConf project. And the project part is the important, because based on the feedback, I decided to expand JSConf from just a syntax checker utility more to a learning project. So today, I removed HTML, CSS linters from JSConf because nobody uses that. So now it's just JavaScript and JSON syntax checker. The latest release that I made during the jQuery conference is now stable release. It has all the options are fully tested. They covered by tests. But unfortunately, it's still a fork of Croc4JSLint, which means, first of all, A, it uses Prat parser to parse the source tree. B, it uses one-letter variables every fucking where, like everywhere. And it's very frustrating to maintain that code base. So, but people use JSHint in this current version. It's very stable. I know at least 6 pretty big companies that use it as a part of their build process. And so that's why I decided to expand it. So now JSHint will soon be a syntax checker and documentation project. Every warning, every error, every option in JSHint will reference to the number of links to the other resources like MDC or the blogs like Badass.js or JavaScript.WordPress. They will explain why. Like, for example, if you have an option to turn on automatic semicolon insertion, that will have the full documentation of what automatic semicolon insertion is, why do you need to use that, why don't you want to use that, and all this stuff. Also, I plan to change the architecture to be more extendable, so that you will basically have a hooks for every like event, and you will have a source tree at any point. So at any point, you'll be able to hook into some event and say, hey, if this function is named like differently, break the build. At some point in future, we will add more languages support, but it's more like future. And the most important part of this of the next release of the next version will be the ability to create your own style guides. Basically, because I promised that to jQuery team. So I have no clue what the syntax is going to be. I don't know how it's going to work now. because I just started to work on that. And well, basically that's why I'm here. I want to ask all your help. And you can help by sending tickets and patches. That's always helpful. Pull requests. I'm literally dancing around every time pull request comes in. So you can write documentation, which is a long shot because you will never write documentation, so I'll have to suck it up. And send me links to your favorite blogs and sites. That's really easy to do because everybody has like a lot of good JavaScript articles bookmarked in their browsers, or delicious if it's still around. And yeah, just send those links and we will put that into the appropriate sections of the new JSConf when it will be out. If you know a lot, not a lot, but if you know something about the how to parse, about the JavaScript lexers, like Narcissus or whatever Uglify.js uses, I'm basically doing a branch and experiment on rewriting JSHint with the new lexer. And if you want to join me on this project, if you want to work together, to collaborate, feel free to approach me after the talk. Because it's kind of fun. Like even with the JSHint current code base, it's still fun to maintain it. And now you can create your own project, which I encourage everybody to do. If you don't like me, my Russian accent, or JSHint like in general, go ahead, create another project. I love competition. I would love to see what your ideas are. If you want to create another syntax checker, but some other utility, like we saw today, Xeon.js, which is an amazing tool, and I think I will incorporate it into JSConf. So any language tool that you plan to create, basically I can help you with my time on creating that. Or I can like just link you to these celebrity people here that will help you with the promotion. But there's a problem. What if you want to help, but your company doesn't like open source and doesn't encourage open source? You can always work for the company that encourages open source and actually pays money to work on open source projects. Sorry about that. I know that's everybody hates that, but and we're hiring like a couple of front-end engineers. So yeah, so thanks. Hopefully it was not very boring, and sorry for the delay. And yeah, talk to me if you want to help with the project, or if you want my help with your project, or if you want just to meet celebrities. Yeah, and go to github.com JSHint and open a pull request, and it will make me very happy. Thanks.